Welcome once again to Lehto's Law. Here's Steve Lehto.
This is a Vault exclusive video, hence the Vault exclusive t-shirt. At what age do they teach phone etiquette? I'm trying to remember how old I was when I learned that you answer the phone and say, hello, may I ask who's calling? And that kind of thing. Because I've had some issues lately pop up with my phone in my office. And I know how to use the phone. It's other people. But first, I'm going to let you know one thing. And one thing is that I get phone calls every single day from people in other states. If you are not in Michigan, I cannot give you legal advice. Someone will call me and say, Steve, I'm in New Mexico. I bought a car from a guy in Idaho. Can you help me? No, I'm only licensed in Michigan. Well, let me ask you the question anyways. Well, I can't answer the question. So I'm sorry I can't do that. I've mentioned that before. I'm sorry, but I cannot do that. I also do not take RV cases. I do not take them, haven't taken them for years. I'm sorry. I've done videos about RV cases, but that doesn't mean I take RV cases. I don't do that anymore. But I'm sitting at my desk. I've got a phone right here, modern phone. Phone rings. I pick it up, answer, and it's a client of mine. So I'm talking to my client. Phone rings again while I'm talking to my client. I look down and see that someone's calling me, and I've got a little screen that says someone's calling you. Ring, 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 ring. Well, I'm still talking to my client. So I let that go to voicemail. And it stops ringing. I thought, oh, okay, cool. So I'm talking to my client. Rings again, almost instantly. I look down, it's the same person. They've hit redial. Oh, okay, that's kind of odd. I've had a person leave a message before and they ran out of time, so they had to call back and leave a second half of a message. I've also had someone call up and leave a message and then forget to leave their name, that kind of thing. That's understandable. So the person called me back again. Okay, I keep talking to my client. Phone stops ringing, starts ringing a third time. I look down, same number. And make a long story short, that happened 34 times. Rings, 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 stops. Rings, 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 stop. 34 times. Now, if you call my office, you will get the Canadian robot lady, her voice, saying, hi, you've reached the law office of Steve Lehto. He's either on another line or away from his desk. Leave your name, number, and the reason you called, and he'll call you right back. So whoever has called me 34 times heard the message that said, if you'd like him to call you back, leave a name and number and the reason you're calling. And instead hung up and hit redial, hung up and hit redial. So I hang up the phone with my client and it rings immediately, call number 35. I look, it's the same person. Law office. Yeah, Steve, I got a question for you. I go, hey, I got a question for you. The guy goes, what? I have a question for you. And he goes, what's that? Did you just call my office 35 times? Guy goes, I don't know. I didn't count. I go, well, my phone actually has a call log on it, and I can go through and count. Let's count them, shall we? And I counted 35 times in a row. 35 times in a row. He would let it ring until it went to voicemail, hang up on the voicemail. I go, so you called my office 35 times. And he's, well, I have a question for you. I go, hang on. I got a question for you. Did you hear my voicemail? And he goes, yeah. Did you hear where it said I'm either away from my desk or on the other line? He goes, yeah. I go, I was at my desk, but on the other line. He goes, okay, well, I've got a question for you. I go, no. I go, stop. So you've got redial on your phone, right? And he goes, yeah. I go, so you're just hitting a redial, hang up, right? And he goes, yeah. I go, 35 times. And he goes, well, I didn't count. I go, no, I counted. You called my office 35 times, hung up 34 times on my voicemail. After hearing my voicemail say, if you want to talk to Steve and he's away from his desk or on the other line, leave a message and he'll call you back. He goes, well, I didn't want to leave a message. I go, I thought you said you want to talk to me. And he goes, I do, but I don't want to leave a message. I go, but you want me to answer your question, right? And he goes, yeah. And I go, and so you're basically asking me like a favor. You want me to do you a favor and answer a question for you? And he goes, yeah. I go, but when my simple instructions say leave a name and number and I'll call you back, instead you hung up on my voicemail 34 times and just hit redial. And he goes, well, I don't want to leave a message. I want to ask you a question. I go, but if you left a message the first time, you wouldn't have made my phone ring 34 more times. He's like, okay. I go, do you understand that in an office, when a phone rings, it's annoying to people. and people will answer the phone, but it's my phone. I'm on the other line. So I'm not going to put someone on hold to answer you when you're going to get the message saying, leave a message, I'll call you right back. The guy goes, well, I just wanted to talk to you and ask a question. I go, but you hung up on my voicemail 34 times. And he's, well, I didn't count. I said, okay, well, in the future, you might want to listen to the message and follow those instructions, especially when you want to ask a person a favor. And he goes, oh, okay. Can I ask my question? He goes, sure. He asks his question. I go, no, don't know the answer. I know what you're thinking. Steve, what was the question? Doesn't matter. Did I know the answer? Yes, of course I did. Of course I did. But number one, he wasn't from Michigan, which I discovered from looking at the 35 incoming phone call numbers. But number two, who calls an office 35 times and just calls and hangs up? That's like a prank you play on someone when you're a little kid and you're trying to annoy somebody and you're playing with the phone. This is an adult, grown person calling my office 35 times in a row and hanging up on my voicemail 34 times in a row. And I'm baffled. I'm baffled. And so I don't know what to say about that because that's unusual. That's very unusual. I've had people before call and hang up and the next day call me and I recognize that I had a hang up yesterday with this number and I recognize the name or something because my phone has like a call log on it. It shows the names and phone numbers of people who called, whether or not I spoke to them. So I might recognize it. I've had people go, oh, I called yesterday, didn't feel like leaving a message, I called you today. Makes complete sense. I might not have been in the office that day. But it's strange to me that somebody in this day and age would call a law office and ignore the instruction to leave a message and hang up 34 times in a row. And now I'll admit I'm morbidly curious. If I hadn't answered it on the 35th call, how many times more would he have called me before he gave up? That's the only thing I wish I knew the answer to that, but I don't. And I don't because I finally answered the call to make it stop, which of course is what he's trying to do. And so for those of you out there who say, Steve, it was kind of not nice of you to not answer the guy's question when he did finally get a hold of you. Well, if I'd answered his question, that'd be positive reinforcement. I'd be reinforcing his behavior. And so by the negative reinforcement of me not answering his question, hopefully next time he's inclined to call somebody, hang up on their voicemail 35 times, maybe he won't do that. Maybe he won't do that. And then finally, I also occasionally get these weird phone calls from people who are salespeople who will call my office and say, I'd like to sit down and talk to you. And I say, about what? Well, can I make an appointment? No, you can't make an appointment to sit down and talk to me unless you tell me what we're going to talk about. Now, I tell people that I'll give them a free consultation if they've got a legal question. But I very quickly ask them, is the legal question involving lemon law? Because that's all I do. So you say, I want to talk to you about my defective refrigerator. I say, well, I can tell you that you might have a case, but I don't handle those cases. I don't handle cases like that. Or they'll say, Steve, I got a problem with a constitutional law issue. And it's in Michigan, by the way. I'd say, I'm sorry, I don't handle those either. I might do videos on a variety of other topics, but I don't handle lawsuits in all these other topics. Not anymore. Now I'm just laser focused, nothing but lemon law. So I had a guy call me recently. He said, Steve, I want to sit down and talk to you. I go, about what? I'll tell you when I sit down. Do you have a lemon law case? I'd prefer to sit down and talk to you. I say, well, here's the deal. I offer free consultations in the hopes that people have lemon law cases. Can you at least tell me, can you at least tell me if it involves a car? And I had a guy yesterday go, well, no, I want to talk to you about search engine optimization. I go, so you want to sit down with me to talk to me about my website after I've done videos mocking search engine optimizationers, the people who do that for a living and hound people like me by sending me spam. I'm not making this up. I actually was thinking about counting, and I will one of these days. I'll do a video. I literally get 30 or 40 emails a day, 30 or 40 emails a day saying I need to have my website SEO worked on, search engine optimization. Someone's got to work on my website. And the guy goes, well, I still want to sit down and talk to you. And I go, well, here's the deal, dude. I go, I'm an attorney. I have an hourly rate of $750 an hour. How much time do you want to pay me for in advance? The guy goes, I won't pay you for your time. I said, well, I'm not going to sit down and talk to you then, am I? Guy's like, well, I think I can help you. I said, well, I don't think you can. And I have more important things to do with my time. And that was the end of the phone call. So I'm just throwing that in at the end because it was a funny phone call I had yesterday. But the guy who calls my office just hits auto dial, hang up. Seriously, at what age were you taught proper phone etiquette? And the idea that you can sit there and bombard somebody's office with phone calls and annoy them into picking up your phone call and then hope that and the guy will do me a favor when he gets to me. That's not how it works, my friend. So there you go. Fun with phone calls. Questions, comments, put them below. Let's talk to you later. Bye-bye.